So my first question for you, Andy, is from trying to stop a serial killer in the Batman to essentially playing one in Luther, the Fallen Son. How did you get into the mindset to portray David?
Well, I had to, for the two things. One was, do I really want to play this role? Because it was a pretty dark character, and I wasn't quite sure whether that would be a good idea at the moment. But then once I've kind of thought about what this role was really about, and it's David Roby is basically the tiny conduit at the end of what is a huge monster, which is the internet and that world, and getting into that was what appealed to me about the whole thing, was that the debate that might arise from playing this character, because here's a technology that we've all bought into that is so powerful that it's almost overwhelming, and David is someone who can manipulate that to shame people. So it was a really interesting. It's become a really interesting challenge, and I'm really glad I came on board.
Great. And also, how did you manage to try and separate and differentiate your character from some of the other Luther villains who are equally as dastardly as David?
Yeah, it's true. Neil Cross has got a very dark mind and writes villains which affect people. And the reason that they work so well is because there's something very relatable to it. They're kind of ordinary. And I think, again, the ordinary in this is the internet, and the fact that it's something that's become so much part of our lives. But other of the villains are so ordinary because they are literally the man under the bed, or the man, behind the fridge, or there's something mundane about the evilness, if you like, of these characters. And David Roby's no exception. He's almost holding a mirror up to society to and in a way reflect back at us what we've done, and that's that sense of the monster being the internet is what I think connects him. The ordinariness of it connects him to the other villains.
And in a previous interview, you mentioned how you wanted to take a shower after reading the script because of how despicable David was. What was the one scene that really shocked you to your core?
There's a scene towards the end there's two scenes really. One is when he goes back to see his wife, and where you see a vulnerable side of him and an almost childish side to him. And I just thought that was so, with a character that's unable to really connect to humanity at all, suddenly there's this personal relationship, and that was quite disturbing. And then the final, there's a big showdown scene in the Red Bunker, which is again a very, very, very dark scene, where he creates a sense of theatre around the dark web, and all his viewers are there to see.
Great. And then a final question. David and Luther slug it out quite a few times in the film. What was the preparation like for these fight scenes?
Yeah, I had to learn how to be very quick and duck out of the way of Luther's power, because Idris is such a formidable fighter. He's a kickboxer. He's a very skilled martial artist, and luckily we had a great stunt team who actually taught me how to it's a combination. The brilliance of what they do is that they work the moves around the character. So it comes from David Roby's character, who I wanted to be like a very disassociated, not putting a lot of effort into what he does, but like very skillful at dodging, diving, and being very skillful with a knife without being, overly flamboyant. So it was like being a picador in a bullfight, I suppose.
Great, thank you very much for your time, Andy. Appreciate it.